So on March 11th, 2011, I was a first grader living in suburb area of Tokyo, Japan. And that day I went to school in the morning and came back from school in the early afternoon, just like any first grader does. And after that, after school, I had a swimming class. And that I was, as I said, I was a first grader, but like the preschool that I had gone to, they taught like not only preschoolers but also like first graders, second graders, maybe third graders. Um, like they taught us swimming classes as well, not just preschoolers. So I had a swimming class there, and my mom drove me to the that preschool, and we arrived at the parking lot around 2:46 p.m. And then as the moment I got off the car, and my mom also got off the car obviously, the ground started shaking, and I sat down on the ground with my mom, and I think there were like some other people near my car that was like um that got off the car at the same time we did, so we were like coming close together with them, I guess. I saw like there was this like store that was selling like tires for cars near that parking lot, and I saw like bunch of tires, like they had like this kind of shelves, I guess, big shelves, and then like tires for dropping. I remember that. um and then as the ground started to calm down a little bit, we stood up and we went to the preschool from the parking lot. And my brother, my little brother, he he had the swimming class before me. He was in the pool when the earth was shaking. So he allegedly didn't realize that like the earth was shaking, if I'm not mistaken, because like when you're swimming you can't really like know for sure if the earth is shaking or not, right? But so we met him, and then obviously my swimming class was canceled for the day, and we were like me and my brother and my mother, we stayed in the preschool for a little bit, I guess. And um yeah, like people were doing things, people were running around trying to check on their families and things of that nature. And then we went home after that. I don't know, maybe like 3:30 or maybe 4 p.m. or something like that, I guess. um and when we were heading home, the signals, the stoplights, yeah, stoplights, they were like all of them were not working because the electricity was off. And yeah, that was like really surreal experience for me. And I guess like at that point I had realized that something bad had really happened. And then we arrived home, but I think the gas was not working as well, and electricity obviously wasn't working that night. And yeah, I remember we listened to the radio with my neighbors, like in front of our houses, like outside. And yeah, I think I went to bed a little bit early, if I'm not mistaken, that night, like 8 p.m. or something like that. Maybe not that early, I guess, like, early for me thinking now, but as a first grader, that was a normal thing. And yeah, so that was what had happened back then in that day. But after that, like, so as many of you know, nuclear power plant in Fukushima melted down that following the earthquake. And yeah, like people in that area surrounding that power plant, they had to evacuate. And you know people can't like even right now people can't go back to the places around the nuclear power plant if their houses were around that, because it's too dangerous. And yeah, like I've been always I've always been against nuclear power since that incident. Like that did have an impact on how I view nuclear powers. And like I remember, I think this was in 2011 or maybe 2012. We lived in Japan, and we were like walking in the station, and there was like a person collecting signatures against nuclear powers. And I was like with my mom and my brother, I think, and we signed that thing. And like I remember my mom isn't someone that's like very politically active, although she is like liberal leaning. And yeah, like I kind of thought that I kind of realized that like, you know, how severe or like person like her that isn't necessarily politically active doing signatures, well, not doing like but signing signatures, like that's really important and something that is happening, right? I realized that how important that thing is. And yeah, like I've always been against nuclear power since then. But unfortunately the conservative government of Japan still do still promoting nuclear power, so that's really stupid and bad, I think. But yeah, that's how that's all for today, I guess. 2011 earthquake. Just wanted to put my story out there. So, peace.